onefootflipper.
So it's Friday about noon. I haven't done anything social for weeks. I think the that YouTube meetup I did several weeks ago was the last time I did anything social. So I'm gonna meet my friends, Night Rider and Fox Hunter. We're gonna hit the Chinese buffet up and play some cards. I just dropped Julie off at her grandmother's house. So I have the rarity of being a free man for a little while. Basically, I guess I'm just taking the day off, which I don't take a lot of days off. Chances are I'm not going to actually take the whole day off. I'll hang out for a while, then I'll come home and I'll probably work like a bandit since nobody's around. And I need to too, because my sales are down. But my sales are down because of me. They're not down because eBay is hiding my store or shadow banning me or turning my sales on and off every 2 or 3 hours. No, my sales are down because I haven't been listing very much, and what I've been listing hasn't been great. Basically because I have run out of room, and I've run out of room to be able to work efficiently. I need to cut down on my space used, and more importantly get listing and storage on the same floor of the house, even if shipping stays on a different floor, because right now listing is taking so much longer because listing and storage are on different floors. So I'm continuing to work on that. It's gonna take a while though, and I'll have to make some decisions on some big stuff that I've got down in the basement that I just wanted to keep for personal use, but is kind of taking up space that I might need for the business. Like, I've got my big arcade game, my one left, and I've got a real big 33-inch VGA monitor that I really wanted to hook up to play video games on. It's a VGA CRT monitor, pretty rare to get one that big. So I'm unlikely to ever find another one, and I got it from a good friend, so I don't want to get rid of that either. I've been thinking about a lot of people. I've looked at their stores, and some people seem to do everything wrong and are still getting sales just fine. And the one thing most of those people seem to have in common, though, is just gigantic store sizes. And I'm not meaning like I've got 16,000 items between my two stores, but 14,000 of those are trading cards. I don't mean like that. I mean they have 15,000, 20,000 real items. And I don't know if they're just getting those sales because even though they're doing everything wrong, the stop clock is still going to be right twice a day, or if that massive store size does something else. I'm really not sure. I try to go by more of the rules of having proper prices, good sell-through rates, not letting things stay in my store for years at a time. Hi, Paige here, the One Foot Flipper, and today has been a day, let me tell you. I'm still continuing to work on restructuring the business, fixing all my mistakes from the past, physically shrinking my store, and shrinking my store in total number of listings. And I'm a full-time parent in addition to eBay, at least in the summertime I am. So I lost the first half of the day just to parenting stuff. Julie had an appointment, went out, come back. Oh, before we come back though, let's do a couple of sales, shall we? I sold a Death Pile Monster, my new mascot. I've still got Yuo here, but I just can't get more of him made. This sold to Spee's Treasure on eBay, John and Laura. They sent the message that says, "Hello, Paige, we love your channel. Thanks, John and Laura." I'm going to have a link to their store down in the description below. So after my daughter's appointment, we get to the grocery store. Guess what? They don't have one of those electric carts there. They told me someone had stolen it. I can't walk an entire grocery store, not in function for the rest of the day, so we grabbed a few essentials near the door and left. So the good luck is starting out pretty strong. I sold this yellow Tupperware salter pepper shaker, $4.99. It came out of that whole giant box of Tupperware I bought for $3 a while back. And I sold this Nintendo Strategies How to Win guide for all of $3.42. This was worth twice as much when I listed it during COVID money, but I guess the value dropped faster than I dropped my price on it because it just finally sold. So then we finally get home. I help Julie get the crock pot going for the night. Then I sit down. I'm ready to do some serious maintenance on my large eBay store. Because I've got two stores. I've got the store with about 15,000 items and the store with about 12,000 items. And I'm wanting to long-term get that 15,000 item store down to 11,000. I'm not feeding it new items anymore at all. And I'd like to get the total down so I can lower my subscription level on it. Let's see, I sold 3 plastic Warhammer sprues for a total of $57. Remember, this was stuff I was going to throw away, and it's netted me thousands so far instead. So, I am ending listings by 200 at a time, and I'm using Sell Similar to dump them into the drafts. Why I'm doing this is a complicated thing. It's probably something you're never going to do, so I'm not even going to get into it, especially after what happened. But I know I'll need about 3,500 drafts when I'm done. But the latest documentation, which I'll put right here, clearly says I can have 5,000 drafts. And it's right next to the newly updated information about 75-day draft expiration. So I have no reason to believe that this paragraph, which has the latest info about expiration, could possibly be wrong. I sold another Death Pile Monster to Roxana at Roxy's Reruns. She did not send a message, but I did went ahead and put a link to her store down below. Now, if you want to get your own Death Pile Monster, they are in my store. Just search for Death Pile Monster. And sold Cyndi Lauper. She's so unusual. $16.19 in really nice shape. This did not come from the huge record buy. This actually came from a garage sale months ago, actually last fall. So I'm working on this for a while, and I've gone through 1600s or possibly 1800 listings. I'm not sure which it is. And when I go to check my drafts, it shows I have 1,000 drafts. So I'm like, this isn't right. So I just tried to do one more listing, just one. I still have 1,000. The other 600 or 800, they're just gone forever. Because they're not in my ended anymore, because you've got to delete them out of ended. To do what I'm doing here, you've got to delete the endeds out of endeds, or else you end up duplicating your drafts or your Sell Similars. So these listings are just gone. There's no way I can get these back. Do you even have 600 items in your store? I bet a lot of you don't. It would have almost been easier if they had deleted everything. And normally I stick up for eBay a lot, and I'm like, most of your problems because you're doing things wrong, but this one is absolutely eBay's fault. What I pay for, and their documentation says I get 5,000 drafts. There'd be no reason for me to think it stopped at 1,000. Nowhere is that number even mentioned. It says something about 250 if I'm doing it on my phone, which I'm not. But instead, mine just stopped at 1,000, an unmentioned number that I'd have no reason to even check for. At all. What would you do in this situation? Why don't you post that down in the comments? I sold a lot of 3 Ladybug Girl books, $7.99. This is not the sort of thing I go looking for. This is leftovers of Julie's from when she was younger. Sold a Bram Stoker's Dracula Sega CD, disc and case, no manual, $8.99. Still not liking disc games, even Sega CD. I just got another return request on a disc game. Matter of fact, looking over, since I've started, filling up this second store, the smaller store, almost every return request I've gotten has been for video games. Nearly every one of them. And I sold this Billy Ocean album for $4.49. Now, thinking about this situation, unfortunately, the best solution for me is I think I'm just going to have to eat it and lose the listings and just kind of write the items off. I have 16,000 items in my 2 stores, and a full inventory is going to take me an entire month of full-time work. And I don't think these items are worth a month of full-time work just to find out what they are, and then I'd still have to list them again. And they can't be that good simply because I haven't put anything new into this store they came out of in 3 months. UO here got himself a nice new hat, courtesy of my daughter Julie. So, would this ruin your day? Would this ruin your month? Would this ruin your store? Would you give up, curl it all up, throw it on the ground, and go list everything on Whatnot instead? I don't know. I'm not going to. I'm going to keep moving forward, writing this mistake off to, I guess, the same way that I write off some of the mistakes with my wife, me being unable to read the minds of something that's going to be unpredictable and not do what I thought it was going to do.